Hello ladies and gentlemen. Today's a momentous occasion on this channel because it will be the first time I've ever covered a metal song on this series. Indeed. I posted a video a few days ago to take this channel in a new direction. Ever since the inception of the lyrical Lobotomy series in 2014, I have focused purely on mainstream pop and hip-hop music, but as those two are beginning to take a backseat to country music and introduce new stars that I don't care enough about to develop a hatred for, I wanted to direct my fury towards NSBM, National Socialist Black Metal, and really National Socialist Metal in general. I've wanted to turn my hatred towards NSBM for a while. It's something that I started having in mind years ago, for when music trends began to turn away from pop and hip-hop music, and it looks like that day has finally come. Don't worry, I'll probably still take on a pop or hip-hop song here and there, and I may even take on some country songs too, but the main focus going forward will be on Nazi metal. And the first song on the chopping block will be Day of the Rope by Einsatzgruppen. Einsatzgruppen translates from German to task forces. The band itself is named after Nazi Germany's mobile killing units. Einsatzgruppen are a black metal band from Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. They are currently signed to Northern Blood Records, a record label that specializes in black metal, specifically black metal of the NS scene. They have been active since 2013. Aside from National Socialism, their main themes are anti-Semitism, racism, and war. The song Day of the Rope is the fifth of 6 tracks from their second demo, which was released under Winter Solace Records, a label that specializes in NSBM, pagan black metal, and NS techno. Riv Fader appears to be the only member of this band. A quick warning before we jump in, this song contains racial slurs. Of course, the same could be said about some of the pop and hip-hop songs I've covered, but this would be the first instance in this series of a song with a hard R being used. As an enjoyer of metal music, I do not claim this garbage band. Now let's proceed. Well damn, and here I was hoping to get a taste of those good riffs that Reddit's black metal community are so turned on by that to them intentionally shielding oneself from this garbage is the least metal thing they can think of. But they can't really criticize me for that now that I'm fighting NSBM head on. But let's take a look at these lyrics. Opposition to race mixing was something that was burned into my mind at a young age. A Midwestern red state is a toxic environment for a growing child. I am someone who is a product of so-called race mixing. That is where I get being half Irish and half Native American with a German cherry on top, accounting for my last name. Mom is also half German and maybe half English. In learning about race from a leftist perspective, I've come to the realization that white and black aren't races so much as they are umbrella terms for various ethnicities. Race, as we know it, is a social construct made to divide ethnicities based on continent or region of origin. African ethnicities being labeled black, European ethnicities being labeled white, West Asian ethnicities being labeled brown, East Asian being labeled yellow, and American natives being labeled red. The more I think about it, the more I think neo-Nazis know this, but still hold European ethnicities to a higher standard than any other ethnicities, and still have this weird fantasy of a superior race that the more I look into it, I can't tell if they give that status to the Germanics or the Nordics, or some combination of them that don blonde hair and blue eyes that they've named Aryan, which anyone who unironically identifies as Aryan needs to be shot. My point is, what Riv Fader is spouting is complete and utter nonsense. He's a fool that sympathizes with a nation that killed men of lower races, then raped their women in the name of purifying the gene pool. And not only that, but wanted to breed themselves out by mating with, or should I say, raping Nordics, so the resultant offspring could have blonde hair and blue eyes. The Nazis themselves were traitors of their own people, if not for the fact that they wanted to replace the Germanic people, as well as literally everybody else, with blonde hair, blue-eyed Nordics, then for the fact that they killed other Germans for not conforming to Hitler's cult of personality. Riv Fader himself is probably neither Germanic nor Nordic in heritage, or if he is, there's probably a pint of Celtic blood or something in him that he's not too proud of, which would explain why his full name isn't even listed on his Metal Archives page. There's something that bothers me about non-black women dating black men, even as a leftist. What do I mean by this? I mean that most of the non-black women that I've met that prefer black men only prefer black men because they think black men have bigger penises. This myth was conjured up by slave owners and anti-abolitionists in the years leading up to the so-called Emancipation Proclamation to justify keeping black people in the cotton fields. Do I think black and non-black couples, specifically white women and black men, ought to be exterminated? No. What I do believe is that anyone that pushes the myth of black men having bigger penises, or any other race-based myth, should be re-educated. If anyone should be exterminated here, it's Riv Fader and anyone who thinks like him. This is why I'm not compatible with the National Socialist ideology. This is why the search for good riffs is something that stops at NS Metal and any band with ties to that scene for me. Do you really expect me to place my own existence below good music? If your answer to that is yes, then you have just as big a problem as any neo-Nazi. You may even be a neo-Nazi yourself. I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn. Just as Riv Fader has no mercy in his heart for racial minorities and their half-blooded offspring, I have no mercy in my heart for racists and their sympathizers. I am not missing out on anything by refusing to listen to NSBM. It's not just a matter of I disagree with their fucking politics, it's a political ideology that disagrees with my existence. If I wanted to legitimately believe in National Socialism or sympathize with it, I would first have to commit suicide, just as Hitler did. So the answer is no, I will not support NSBM or anything to do with National Socialism, which by the way wrongfully bears the term socialism as an ideology that is not only economically capitalist, but is an abomination made up of parts of Nordic nationalism, fascism, and imperialism, and should be renamed. Perhaps early 20th century leftists were onto something with branding it Hitlerism, as being a variant of fascism, and that's what I'll be calling it from now on. After all, I don't really hear anyone say national capitalism when referring to Stalinism, and I think that's where I'm going to drop the mic. Did you enjoy hearing my voice today? Do you think I completely wrecked this fool? If so, then I'm glad to say that there's more where that came from. Please click the thumbs up, share the video with your friends, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe and click the bell to get notified when I upload. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye guys.